Alright guys, what is going on? It is time for the Gamecube collection video. This is my favorite system of all time. And actually one of the things I've been wanting to share for a long time. The biggest collection I have. I used to have 102 titles. I actually cut them all down to 42 titles because, and 42 is still a lot. As a collector, the GameCube is one of the most expensive games to collect for, so the games I have I'm actually pretty proud to have, and a lot of them are worth quite a bit, so I'm okay with that. But so the system, you think it's jet black? It's not. It's a brand new platinum console inside of this box. Yeah, I actually went to one of my pawn shops and they had a brand new GameCube for $30, literally brand new. Not a scratch, nothing, everything was brand new. So I just put it in bubble wrap into this box that I had left over. And next to it is Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix. Now, everything that you will see in this video is complete with books, everything like that, boxes if it's certain edition. Dance Dance Revolution Mario is definitely one of my favorite games. But yeah, this is definitely going to be a two-part video as well. So, yeah. So that's going to be the nice, beautiful background we're looking at. Besides that wood that you're going to be looking at. So I guess let's get started. We'll go with snowboarding games as the first theme. Snowboarding was a big part of my gaming when I was a kid. So, left to right here, SSX3 and SSX on tour. I did have Tricky at one time, but I had to get rid of it because if a game isn't complete, I don't like to have it in my collection, so I just got rid of it. But SSX 3 was actually a really fun game, not my favorite. On Tour is my favorite SSX of all time. Not only because it features Mario, Luigi, and Peach, but because it has the most stuff that you can do in the game. The customization was amazing. The soundtrack was amazing. Everything to do with the SSX games, I love. It's just awesome snowboarding experience on those games. 1080 Avalanche. I have the special edition that includes like a little DVD with it as well. It had a cool soundtrack. I like the 1080 Avalanche soundtrack, but there's not as much to do on it. There's not a lot to do, period, on this game, which is kind of a disappointment, but not a horrible game, but definitely not something that I wouldn't pay a lot for it. Evolution Snowboarding. This game is like the wild card out of the snowboarding games for the GameCube. First of all, it's made by Konami, so it's definitely not just your little kid's game. It's really cool because you can run around and you pick up like bats and stuff and you hit people with them. The very first opening intro, you're actually escaping from people, which is really awesome. I absolutely love Evolution Snowboarding as well. It's just awesome games in general right there. It's games like this that make me really happy to own a GameCube. Like, because you don't find these types of games anymore. Ever. And I'm going to put those up here for now, because I don't really have another spot. Next, we have Extreme G Racing. Actually, you know what? I'm going to see if I can speed up the process. You know what? No, that's not going to work. Extreme G Racing Association. I have played this once, I believe. Let me take a look at this. Yeah. I played Extreme G3 a lot, and that's the one that I played on the GameCube. This one I don't... Actually, I might not have even put this in my GameCube yet. That's how new it kind of is. I need to get Extreme G3 back, because that was a pretty cool game. So I can't say much about that one. Bloodrayne. This is a very cool game. I actually did buy it because of the cover. I'm not gonna lie, I did. But I started to play this game, and it was pretty cool. The mechanics that you do, are really cool. It's a challenge. Excuse me. It is a challenging game, and that's one of the things that's really amazing about this game is the challenge. The fact that it's actually a difficult game made it, and you can get this game for like $5, so that's really cool. Next we have Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. You can play this game without bongos, unlike the other two games, which were actual music games, kind of like Guitar Hero, but with the bongos. This game's an actual linear platformer that you use with rhythm button taps. It's a pretty cool game. One thing I found really interesting about this game was that it was made on the same engine that made the new Super Mario Bros. Games. So I thought that was really cool when I first saw that. Next we have Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance. Now for those who have no idea what this is a Dungeons and Dragons game. Except you're not doing a board game, you're actually playing an RPG set in Dungeons and Dragons themes. And this is one of those games that's starting to get up there for rarity, so I'm pretty cool to have that game. And I've played it a little bit. The graphics are pretty good, and from what I can tell, it's a pretty big game. It's got a lot of content on it. But other than that, I don't really know that much about it. Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. This game is pretty creepy. I probably would have made an attempt to play through it more, but so I got like 2 hours into the game, and I didn't realize that it didn't autosave or anything, so I never saved my game file, and I died, and I wasn't about to redo the whole thing. But this is a pretty cool game. It would tell me like my controller was unplugged, and it really wasn't. Like that had to be my favorite part. It said my controller was unplugged, and it wasn't, and it because it was trying to get me killed. That is a cool fucking game. It's actually worth a pretty penny too online. Outlaw Golf and Darkened Sky, the combo pack. This is a sealed game. I haven't opened this at all. I've had this for a long time. I used to have Outlaw Golf on its own, and I don't like Darkened Sky at all. I looked at the back of it. The graphics are pretty bad, but I wasn't about to open this game just to play Outlaw Golf. Like, I'm sorry. But, yeah, just a little combo pack that I decided to keep sealed. Next is Freaky Flyers. If you've never played Freaky Flyers, you've missed out. Now, this is a pretty overlooked title, though, at the same time. This game is so funny with its comical sense. I can't even explain. It's just so good. It's like a Mario Kart with airplanes, but with objectives in the game. So while you're in a race, you have a ton of objectives. Like one of them is clear all the beaver dams, collect a certain amount of acorns. Like, this game is just phenomenal, and if you've never played it, you should. It's fun. It's definitely there on the fun factor. Next up is Alien Hominid. This game started off as a flash game on a website, and it ended up getting its own disc release. They added bosses to it and said, "Yup, it's a game." It's not bad, but it's not something to die for. You know what I mean? It's also a Castle Crashers thing, which is why I personally picked it up after I played Castle Crashers. I'm like, wait, he's from that. But yeah, it's just a little side-scrolling shooter. It's nothing that big. Beautiful Joe. This game has so much style and class that it's kind of cool. It's just everything about it is amazing. It's a platforming beat 'em up, side-scrolling, of course, but it's so cool. I love the comedy in this game as well. And I need to get Beautiful Joe 2. and also Red Hot Rumble someday. But for right now, I got that. Next is the original Cell Damage. They just released a PSN remake for the PS4 of Cell Damage HD recently. This game is a pretty crazy, fast-paced kart killing game. Kart, I don't know how you define that. It's not Mario Kart. It's not like actual tracks. It's just one big arena. I guess kind of like Crash Tag Team Racing with just the arena part, if you've ever done that. But lots of wacky cartoon antics and power-ups and stuff. It's crazy. It's pretty crazy. Next is Metabots Infinity. I haven't played this game in a long time. This is a weird game. I thought it would be really good just because it was made by Natsume, but to me, while I was playing this game, I didn't get into it, and I played like a couple hours of it, but it's different. I can't tell you if it's good or bad because you're just going to have to play it yourself and figure it out. Because I don't really have I just don't have an opinion that much on it. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. I really like this game a lot. It's just different. I like the story. I like the concept arts. I like the fact that it's almost like a Dynasty Warrior thing, where you're free roaming and stuff like that. It's just not. It's not your typical Final Fantasy, and it's the only Final Fantasy that was released for the GameCube as well. Cool game. The original Metroid Prime for the GameCube. This is a fantastic shooter. The graphics were great. Everything about this game was great, and it definitely changed, I think, the genre of what we could have considered shooters. And the fact that they transformed from the Game Boy into that was amazing. Ribbit King. I hate this game. I hate it. It's so stupid that I don't even understand half of it. Like, you hit a frog with a croquet thing and he jumps. I couldn't even tell you what this game is. It's golf with a frog and a croquet hammer. I don't know. I don't know. We're passing on. We're moving on. Not even gonna talk about it. Soul Calibur 2. Oh boy, this game was so fun. There was so much you could do with collecting armor and just all the different mission styles. One of my favorite characters of all time, Maxie, was on here. You can play as Link from Zelda. Oh, this game. Fantastic. And Soul Calibur is one of the best fighting game series, period, as well. If you've never played it, you missed out. Next we have Zelda The Windwaker. This is my absolute favorite Zelda of all time because I love the graphics to death. The puzzles were perfectly just challenging. Everything was great about Wind Waker. I have no complaints about this game. I just love it. I really do. It's such a fun game. Like, there's no contest. It's just one of the best Zeldas ever made. And speaking of Zelda, we got the big box edition of Zelda The Four Swords Adventures. This game, a lot of people think that you have to have 4 people to play, and a lot of people think that you have to have Game Boys to play it, but you don't. They just aren't realizing you do not need Game Boys or 4 players to play this game. You can play it by yourself, and it's really cool because it's a mixture of GameCube graphics with Game Boy Advance graphics. It's an experience. So, really cool game if you can find it. It's really nice. And that'll be part 1 because I still have 2 stacks of games to go. Enjoy. I'll see you in the next part.